All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Max Life. Number, I don't know. But this subject tonight, there is a vast amount of information, I know, and we're going to try and, I know Alex and Cierra are going to try and cover as much as possible, but and I was talking to John, and we were talking about the fact that, a lot of this needs to be covered by young techie people, not my generation. So, but our generation can learn a lot, and so we're going to do that tonight. We talked about this new AI stuff that is coming so much to the forefront, and so anyway, we're going to turn it over to them in just a minute. I talked to Pastor John and Tika and Bailey. Sounds like they brought everybody back from the zoo, all those that they should bring back with them. And for those of you that don't know, little Faith she's admitted to the hospital. And so we just want to pray for her. They ruled out a blood clot, so she does not have blood clots. But her white blood cells, they're high, is that right? And there was something else, baby, you remember? So anyway, she's admitted, and we want to pray for her tonight. And anybody else tonight? Okay, well, let's just pray. We'll open and we'll begin. Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight for the privilege it is for us to be gathered again tonight in your house. Lord, we love being together, and we thank you that we can enjoy your presence and we can learn and become more wise in this day like no day that we have ever lived in. And thank you, Father, for your precious people. Tonight we do pray for little Faith, Father, tonight. She needs your touch. And we lift up the entire Moss family to you tonight, Lord. We pray that you would touch her from the top of her head to the sole of her feet and minister to her. Lord, I just pray that angels would be there to cover her and to be around her bedside. And Lord, we just declare that she is restored quickly, that whatever this situation is that is causing her so much pain, that it would be eradicated from her body and that she would be the healed of the Lord in Jesus' name. We ask you for a miracle in her little body, Lord, and that you would raise her to health and strength. And so thank you for your goodness. We know that we can depend upon you, and we trust you tonight. We ask your blessing upon our evening, that we would glean and that we would learn, and that, Father, tonight this would be a real blessing to all of us. So we pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. All right, so we're just going to begin. Welcome to the Merritts. And Alex and Cierra, come and speak to us. We appreciate your wisdom.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for coming out. We've never done this before, so have a little bit of grace, if you don't mind. It is going to be a lot of information. We will try to break it down as simply as possible. If you have questions, of course, we'll take those at the end.
Okay.
All right. And it's not working. It is on.
Did it disconnect?
There it is. Is it still plugged in, Pat? That flash drive? No. I guess just.
Yeah,
No, I think that was Pat. Can you just click? We'll try this later. Yeah, I did. In the sound booth. Maybe. I hope not. We'll see. Okay.
Go ahead.
So, has anybody ever heard of social engineering? Anyone? No. Yeah, I was going to say more corporate. That's pretty common. Okay, so social engineering is like the big umbrella of everything else that we're going to talk about. Everything we're going to talk about basically falls under social engineering. You can go next. Okay, so what is social engineering? Next. And I apologize for the little wording. I tried to make it as big as possible. So social engineering is a form of cyber crime that relies on psychological manipulation to gain access to your information. So any type of hacking, that's going to fall under social engineering. Next. It is one of the most common and effective methods of attack used by cyber criminals. Again, the big umbrella. Okay. Go ahead. So one example is going to be emails, aka phishing. That's the technical term. Next, text messages, smishing, lots of ishing. Next, over the phone, that's going to be vishing. And then social media. Go ahead. Okay, so social engineering ranked number 1 as the top attack in 2022. I know we're in 2023. Those stats aren't out yet. So the price tag of the average social engineering related breach costs approximately $4.1 million. Social engineering based data breaches took 270 days to identify and contain. Okay, so phishing, this is going to be emails. A technique for attempting to acquire sensitive data, such as bank account numbers, through a fraudulent solicitation, an email, or on a website in which the perpetrator masquerades as a legitimate business or reputable person.
So yeah, a lot of times with that, you're gonna get, like your bank, or not really your bank emailing you, but someone emailing you pretending to be the bank, wanting you to click a link or something. So we'll look at one of those emails later and kind of show you what to look out for there.
Okay, so the next one is going to be a little video. It's kind of fun and cute little example of phishing. You can hit the next button. There you go. Okay, so phishing. He literally gave them all of their information, account numbers, date of birth, the simple things, right? Like, what's his favorite band? That could be a security question. Boom, I got you right there. Okay. Common signs of phishing: an unfamiliar greeting or tone. So most people start an email, dear whatever, hello. But if it seems a little suspicious and it's like, hey, or misspellings, that's probably a good sign it is not legit. Yes, exactly. Unsolicited messages. You didn't ask for this. Not something that you applied for.
Yeah, if you're getting like an email or a text saying your package was undeliverable, if you didn't order a package then you don't need to do anything. Just completely delete the email or text and move on. They're trying to get you to click that link, enter your information, and then they've got information on you. So.
Yep. And then, like Jennifer said, grammar and spelling errors, that's a good sign. They're probably not American, and they're definitely trying to get your information. Next. Sense of urgency. If it says urgent, this is important, it's probably not. Next. Suspicious links or attachments. Never click anything. I don't care who it's from. If you have questions, call the business, call whoever it's from, validate that before you click anything, because clicking, they have you.
Yes, but also don't always use the information that's on the email also. If it says, if you have questions concerning this email, call this number, don't. If it's claiming to be from your bank, call your bank directly. Don't use any information on the email.
Next. Request for personal information. Obviously, don't give that information. They're probably asking for that for a reason. Most businesses don't ask for that over email. They'll give you a call if it's that important. Inconsistencies in email addresses or links. We looked at one earlier that the email was like Netflix at foodstampsomething.com.
Yes.
That's probably not Netflix.
Yeah.
Next.
Yes, and we'll look at one of those later
Yes.
as well.
Unusual requests. Hey, I need $500. Use your brain. They don't.
Yes.
Alerts that you've won something. That's probably one of the most common, especially it's been around for years. You didn't win anything. They just want your money. Next. Go ahead. All right. In 2021, phishing and similar fraud was the most common type of cybercrime reported to the U.S. Interest Crime Complaint Center, with 324,000 individuals affected. As of January of 2021, the search engine powerhouse, aka Google, recorded 2,145,013 phishing sites. That's a lot of sites. In 2020, hackers added approximately 22 million new personal records to the dark web, meaning anyone on the dark web now has access to that information. Go ahead. The most common subject lines for phishing emails include words such as urgent, request, important, payment, or attention. How to protect yourself. If you're suspicious of something being phishing, go ahead. Do not respond to the email. Do not respond. There's no need to respond. It's not going to go anywhere. Go ahead. Do not click the link. Definitely do not click the link. Once you click that link, they kind of like the video. He could see what was going on. Exactly. They have all of your information. If you're unsure whether the email is legitimate, reach out to the sender, business or personal, and ask them if they sent it to you. Very much so. Do not ever assume it's legit.
And so I'm going to kind of back up to the link issue. So when you click those, occasionally they can have like Trojan horse malware in it where they can track your keystrokes. So what it is they're able to see what exactly you're clicking. So they can see you're clicking your banking app, and then it can see the username. It can literally see what you're typing in there, and it stores that information. And then same thing with the password. And then, you think you may be safe with those, Google and Apple. They will ask you if you want to save your password. All that is that's basically a profile within Google that they just have to hack that one area, and now they have access to all those usernames and passwords.
Which has happened to us.
Yes. So you have to, the safest thing is come up with a password and honestly not even write it down. You just want to remember that password, and it's easier said than done, but we'll kind of go over a little bit of some tricks to come up with good passwords here in a minute. So
if you do not know the sender, trash it. Yes, there's also a option on most emails to report it as phishing. Definitely do that. Then they are aware, they know that this could be something that is a scam. Be wary of fake unsubscribe messages. That's a big one. Most people will send you things and say reply stop, or click this link to unsubscribe. It's the same thing. They're going to have your information.
Well, and with those also, they're trying to catch people who, like, they just have a list of emails. That they don't know if these are actual emails, and maybe they haven't been accessed in 20 years, but you replying to that now tells them 100% that is a active email and people are watching it closely. So best thing you can do is just report it phishing, and that'll automatically delete the email. So
Do not for any reason share personal information, ever. If you learn nothing tonight, do not share any personal information, ever.
yes.
All right, I know this is going to be hard to see, but examples of phishing. So this is like the Chase email, and we were looking at this earlier. So the email, the first thing I'm going to point out is the email address. It says customer service. It says customer.service@intranet-fi.com. Not going to be from Chase. If you're unsure, again, call the business and ask them, what email address do your emails come from? They will let you know. Can you go back to that, Pat? Thanks. Another thing is, I don't know if you can see all the different blue words. Those are going to be links. So I think we counted like 6 links.
Yes, because technically you have these links up here. Log into online banking, view as web page. Then you have banking website, these
Online
3 right
banking,
here. Those are all just links that they're trying to get you to click. Every single one of those contain the same, malware that they're just going to track your information with.
And it's going to look legit. When you click it, it's going to look like your app or your online banking for that bank. It's going to look similar. It's going to look right, but then they have your information. Now they can make transfers, or they have access to your funds, and your account information for that matter. Okay, now you can go next. This is a good one. IRS. IRS will never email or call you. They will mail you. If they need to reach you, they will send you something through the mail. Again, another link. Click here to get started. Most of that's going to ask for your social. Then they have your social. Here we go. Identity theft. Okay, I think there's one more.
Is there? Oh,
There's
yes.
2 more. Again, this is the Netflix.
Yeah, this is the one. It says reply to info@foodstampnews.com. But it's for a Netflix gift card, so.
You won.
Truthfully, you were doing fine without the reward or gift, so why put yourself in risk,
There should be one more, Pat. Amazon. I don't know if we have Amazon shoppers. I am one. This one says, due to a system error, you are double charged. Click here to update your information. And again, a link to log in, which is going to have your payment information and everything that they need to access that. Your zip, most of the time when you're making online purchases, is going to ask for your zip code. They have it because you just entered that information.
So what I recommend with these is if you are a frequent Amazon shopper, any online store this could be, call them and ask them, I received an email, and make them aware of it, because these companies, they have teams, usually risk management, that go through and they're trying to fight things like this, and you have to make them aware of it.
Next. Okay, smishing. This is going to be your text messages. I know we have talked a bit about this in church, so I know everyone's pretty much familiar with it. Smishing is a phishing cybersecurity attack carried out over mobile text messaging, also known as SMS phishing. That's where they get smishing. Next. Smishing text messages are often portraying to be from your bank, asking you for personal or financial information, such as your account or ATM number. Providing the information is equivalent to handing the thieves the keys to your bank balance. Next. All right, here's an example. Your shipment could not be delivered due to an unpaid duty fee. To reschedule a delivery date, continue. Click here. This is actually from my phone.
Yeah, so as you can see who it's sent from up there in the top, that's not even not a phone number, not an email, it's nothing. So then you have your link, of course, like we've been discussing, never click it. But this, if you have an iPhone, you'll notice when you get some spam text or anything that is a subscription-based text, you'll usually have a report junk, or if you try to delete it, it'll say report junk. With Apple, you want to always report these because they are working with the help of AI, which we'll talk about that later, to help automatically block these and try to make a phone company that, or a phone, rather, not phone company, but phone that is completely free of these scams and stuff. So we'll see if they are successful with that.
Next. Congratulations. I am David Ritchie, the Powerball winner of 1 million, and Powerball Millions have voluntarily decided to donate the sum of $20,000 to you. As selected, to verify, text me your name. Seems harmless? Yeah, right? I wish. It seems harmless, but your name, I mean, you can pretty much Google anybody and find something on them, even if that's just a picture. Next. Urgent. Not urgent. Never. It's never urgent. Go ahead. Your card has been put on hold. How many would freak out if they saw that? Because that would be me immediately. I would immediately call. Yeah, exactly. Immediately call the bank. That's exactly what you should do, but do not call the number they're texting. That is not the number. Google it.
Yes. So that's why I said, if it's claiming to be your bank, saying your card's put on hold, you may think, oh, I need to call that phone number. No, you need to call your bank directly, get on Google, search it, and call them.
Or the back of your card will most likely have a valid number as well.
But I will say, because I deal with that every day, sometimes the number on the back of your card is different from your bank. So call your bank directly. I'll just put that out there.
All right, statistics. In 2021, the Federal Trade Commission logged 378,119 fraud complaints about unwanted text messages, including smishing attempts. RoboKiller says that number is actually much higher, estimating that consumers lost more than $10 billion because of spam texts just in 2021. Delivery scams, where fraudsters impersonate Amazon, FedEx, the U.S. Postal Service, are the most prominent text scam, like we just saw, accounting for over 26% of all text scams in 21. So in these scams, robotexts are sent with links, like we just saw again, that are portrayed to be for tracking purposes or packages or adjusting user preferences. However, they're actually links that connect users to fake websites where they basically, again, want you to enter your information, or it could download malware onto your device. They automatically have everything if they get that far. Next. All right, more how to protect yourself. Do not respond. Again, ever. Do not respond. There's no need. You're not actually going to get to anybody. Even prompts to reply, like texting to stop or unsubscribe, can be a trick to identify active phone numbers. Attackers depend on your curiosity or anxiety over the situation at hand, but you can refuse to engage.
Emotions play a lot into it. If they're holding $10,000 over your head and that's all you have to your name, you're going to be emotional and want to do everything you can. So just be wary of stuff like that.
All right, slow down. If a message is urgent, you should approach urgent account updates and limited time offers as caution signs of possible smishing. Remain skeptical and proceed carefully. Again, contact whoever it's from. If it's from a business, if it's from somebody you know, give them a call. They're going to know if they sent that or not.
Yeah, and with the urgency, most of the time, the company doesn't care that much. And I mean, like, they care, but it's not, if you don't reply to that email for 20 days or don't respond to something, they're not going to care. It's not that urgent to them. So, I mean, really watch that stuff, because that's 90% of what phishing is. Urgent, your card's locked. Urgent, this. So you just have to watch it and kind of use your discernment to discern whether that truly is, something that you care about. So
I know Alex works for TTCU, and I hear him take some of his calls sometimes. They do send out text messages for fraud alerts. They will lock your card. That could be confusing. Again, call the bank. If you're concerned about it, that's a money matter. Most of us are going to automatically be extremely concerned. Give them a call. It's basically what that says.
Well, and I also want to say anything that you can see, like, for instance, a website, it can be recreated. Someone can sit there and take the time to recreate a fraudulent website. So same thing is kind of happening with these, like with our texts. We have people that will steal that text format and send out those texts as a phishing attempt to our members. And so we are diligently working to, have our members, anytime that happens, report those texts. That way we can work on combating that stuff, because it's out there. They want your money, and they're going to try to get it. So
A lot of those types, that's their full-time job. That's how they provide for their family. Avoid using any links or contact info. If it's not in your contacts,
yeah.
they'll call you. If it's important, they'll call. Next. Check the phone number. Odd-looking phone numbers, such as 4-digit ones, can be evidence of email to text services. This is one of many tactics a scammer can use to mask their true phone number.
Also, I'll just add with these scam calls and stuff, don't call them back, because a lot of times they're masking their phone number. It's happened to me many times where I've actually gotten a phone call, I'll pick it up, and they'll say, yeah, I just had a missed call from this number. No, I've been at work, I haven't had my phone, there's no way. That is scammers masking the phone number they're calling from and using any random phone number. So do not call these numbers back. There's no need to. The way that we live is, if it's important enough, they're going to leave a voicemail. If you didn't leave a voicemail, I'm not calling you back. You didn't, so I don't care. So.
Opt to never keep credit card numbers on your phone. The best way to keep financial information from being stolen from a digital wallet is to never put it there. I don't know if anyone uses their digital wallet. I use Apple Pay. Not gonna lie, I do. It's not good. Can be easily stolen. I think Tony kind of touched on that a little bit a few weeks ago with the chips and these cards, the way that they make them now. I can walk by, if I have the right equipment, and I have your card information. Everyone in the vicinity. They do make wallets that protect against that, RFID wallets.
But that will not protect your phone.
True.
So, for instance, the other day, I was at work. We have a little kiosk, you can buy drinks and stuff. And all I did was have my phone next to the machine, and it automatically pulled up my Apple Wallet to use my card. And I had to move my, you have to always press a button to use it, but that's, if you accidentally, press the right button, you've now just spent money, and you never know. If you're at, for instance, Fair of the Heart, that's a little craft show that they do here. Most of those people are going to use Square card readers, and most of those have those capabilities of tap to pay. You set that in your pocket and just walk around the expo, maybe type in $5 for the transaction, and just walk by. You're getting $5 sales all day, just walking by people. So you really need to watch stuff like that.
Next. Never provide a password or account recovery code via text. Both passwords and text message, two-factor authentication. Recovery codes can compromise your account in the wrong hands. Never give this information to anyone and use it on official sites.
So I'm going to touch on this. How many of you guys have logged into internet sites and they require a multi-factor authentication where they send you a text or something? As annoying as that is the best way to do things, because if they do not have that device that you're texting, they can't get in, no matter what. There is no physical way to get in. So if you have the option, set that up on your accounts. At TTCU, we have it set up for the first time, and then you can opt out of it. But I tell everyone, it's one of those things, if someone hacks into your information, you get a text on your phone saying, hey, use this code to log in, you're alerted right there. Someone's trying to get into your account without your permission. Without that code, they're not getting in. So right there, you can call us and inform us that someone's trying to get in. At that point, we can change your username and everything, but at the end of the day, they didn't get in at all. So always use those added levels of protection, even though they may be annoying. Yes, but they're also annoying to the scammer. You know, that's a brick wall for them. They cannot get past that.
And report all attempts to the designated authorities, basically the report sender. That may be something that you can report to the crime unit that I mentioned earlier. All right, phishing voice. A voice phishing attack is the fraudulent use of phone calls and voice messages using social engineering techniques to convince individuals to reveal private information such as bank details and passwords.
And also, I'm going to back up because I don't think we've talked about, like, are we going to talk about social media or is that? Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Never mind.
Next. All right, examples. AI-based. Here we go. AI works by detecting patterns and producing iterations of them without the need for constant human input, which means it can automatically deploy processes once it has detected a pattern in its algorithm. Example, they call the same time every single day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have several. Yeah, exactly. And it could be from like a local number, right? Like a 918 number. I get those all day.
But the question is, so are you answering those? Okay. So a lot of times they're trying to just see what time of the day you're available. So yeah, always just ignore those.
Kind of like going back
Yeah.
to the active accounts. If they know that's an active phone number, now they can use your phone number to call other people. And then they're going to call you like, hey, what the heck? There is AI software now that can mimic a person's voice, easily fooling them into thinking they are speaking with a representative from a legit company and sometimes even family and friends.
So right now, politically, this is becoming a problem. A lot of you may be familiar with TikTok. So there are some viral videos on there where this guy has taken AI and he's created, you have Trump, you have Biden, and you have Obama, and they're usually just having conversations about stupid stuff or playing video games or something. But that is the innocent way to use that. Right now we're having issues with the Democrats are using that for to make people think that a Republican's saying one thing and the other side of the aisle is doing the same thing. But then we also have the foreigners, Russia, China, they're doing the same thing. They're creating these fake videos and these fake voices of what we would think would be Biden or anyone else, and they can get them to say whatever. I mean, literally whatever they want. So right now, the government is working on passing laws to help protect against that, because right now that there are no laws. Right now, anyone could go and make a AI voice like that. You could use Biden and you could say whatever you want and ruin his political career, and there's no law protecting that right now. So yeah.
Another thing that they have been doing with this is whenever you pick up the phone and they say, "Can you hear me?" and you say, "Yes," now they have your voice. They can basically take that and chop it into any word that they need. A lot of the research that I did also said that they can basically sound like a family member saying, "I have your granddaughter. I need $10,000 to keep her safe. I've kidnapped her," and they can come on the phone and sound like your granddaughter. It's actually really crazy.
I was listening to one deal the other day, and one of these AI guys, one of these AI executives actually took like Cierra's voice that she heard and put it into this deal, and they made everything in 5 minutes. They could say anything they wanted to say.
We will actually watch another video here in just a second. That's a great example. Okay, examples. Robocalling. Pre-recorded call to every one number in a specific area code through computer software. The automated voice asks the victim to state their name and other information. These answers are recorded and then used to steal money or open fraudulent accounts.
So kind of like what Cierra was saying, they ask, "Can you hear me?" And you say yes. Now they have that recording, and now they can call your bank and, play a little recording, and they get an actual recording of you saying, yes, you've
given consent.
Yes. Your bank will ask, well, do I have your consent for this? And then they just press play, and it's you saying yes. So if they can't hear you, it doesn't matter. So.
Next. Call spoofing, kind of talked about this a little bit. This is software to fake a legitimate caller ID. How many has gotten a call from their number?
No.
Yeah, call spoofing. They can call anyone. They can mask their phone number to look like yours. It does say scammers usually try to pass for an institution such as tax agencies, police departments, or hospital to create urgency and get the victim to surrender information. I've definitely got a call or voicemails from somebody saying, "Oh, I'm Officer so-and-so. There's a warrant for your arrest. Give me a call." No, there's not. No, there's not. One call and hang up. Basically, the sole purpose of that one, you can hit next, Pat, is for you to call that number back thinking you missed an important call. That's an easy way for them to verify that's an active number. They can use it to spoof. All right, here's a video.
They're going to hack me using social engineering, which is essentially hacking without any code. They just use a phone and an internet connection.
Do you want to do a sample phishing call?
What's phishing?
Phishing is voice solicitation, and basically what you do is you use the phone to extract information or data points that can be used in a later attack.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Who are you going to call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider and
Okay.
see if I can get them to give me your email address.
I bet they're good. I bet they have my back. But yeah, go for it.
I'm going to spoof from your number, so it's going to look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. my husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan and we just had a baby and he's like, get this done by today. So I'm so sorry. I can't call you back. I'm trying to log into our account for uses information and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. The baby's crying and can you help me? Awesome.
In just 30
At
seconds,
gmail.com.
Jessica gets access to my personal email address.
Now, if I needed to add our older daughter on our account so she could call in and make changes, how would I need to go about doing that? You would have to send me a secure PIN through a text message? Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to receive a text message if I'm on the phone. Oh, I'm not on there either? So I thought when we got married, he added me to the account.
Jess uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
5127.
to set up her own personal access to my account.
Wait, I'm sorry, so there's no password on my account right now? Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my password.
Thank you so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Crazy. The biggest way, in my opinion, to protect against something like that would be to put a password on your account. I know TTCU offers that. When you call in, they'll just say, hey, what's the password? You verify that information. They know it's you most of the time. That's probably the number one.
Yeah.
All right, how to protect yourself against phishing? Do not provide any information over the phone. If you notice a delay of 2 to 3 seconds before a live person speaks, it's more than likely an auto dialer. Hang up, do not give any information, and do not say yes or no. Again, that's a consent thing. A legitimate caller will not hesitate before telling you who they are or who they are with. A scammer will be reluctant to to confirm their identity and their web address because they don't want you to know that they're not real. Avoid answering unknown phone calls. Let the phone ring and then go to voicemail. You can listen to the voicemail and then determine if it sounds legitimate or not. That's literally the rule of thumb that we live by. If it's important, leave me a message. If not, I'm not calling back. One way to determine whether the person on the other end is a live person or not is to ask them a random question, such as, what day is it? Or what color is the sky? Like a common sense question that a real live person is going to know. But if it's an AI or, an AI.
Yeah, like when I did debt collection, Robo Killer, I think is the company, they use a voicemail service where it actually mimics a conversation with someone, almost as if the person I was calling picked up. And so stuff like that, it's what I would do is I would just be like, hey, George, what day is it? And 90% of the time, they're going by their script. They're not, you throw a wrench in their situation, and it kind of messes them up. So then you know, okay, it's not a real person, and then just hang up. So
I would also just say if you're suspicious in the call, Google the number and call back. If it's a legitimate business, they'll be able to verify that with you. Next. Digital footprints. Has anybody ever heard of a digital footprint? Yes, kind of, somewhat, yeah. Another big corporate thing. A digital footprint is the trail of personal data you leave behind while using the internet. Every website you visit, every social media post you make, and every ad you click contributes to your footprint. The game app you downloaded, your Fitbit, your smart home device, it all contributes to your digital footprint. Even when you apply for a job online and enter your social security number, you're adding to your print.
I'm going to pause there too. So with that, that's why you're getting suggestions for, Amazon purchasing something, is because you access something online. Maybe you're shopping for a new sink, and so you start going to these websites, and just simply going to the website, it's storing that information. And that's basically what Google's there for, is they store all that information and then sell it to the companies. That way they can properly suggest and advertise what you'll actually buy rather than just advertising nonsense. So with Apple, whenever you download an app, it will actually ask you, do you consent to this? And so it'll ask you, do you want to ask the app not to track your information or something else? And basically that just means they can do what they want. I always say ask them not to track, because then it's not tracking what I'm doing on my phone. Otherwise, you're giving them permission to watch your phone constantly. Anything you do on your phone. You go to your banking website, they are tracking that information. How many times a day do you access your banking app? Okay, maybe you have a spending problem, so I'm going to suggest, maybe books on budgeting, from Amazon Books, and stuff like that. So that your digital footprint plays a big role in all of that.
Some of that trail you leave knowingly. You choose to tell someone something, and some of it you disclose implicitly through the websites you visit or the places you authenticate, and some of it you're not consciously doing it. And it doesn't occur to you that you're leaving those traces. Social media. Social media has become a goldmine of easily accessible information for online crime, packed with sensitive and what should be personal data, providing the perfect ingredients for social engineering attacks.
So this is my favorite one to talk about, because almost every single one of you in this room have probably been a victim of it and didn't even realize it. So those posts that are like, hey,
if you love God, share.
Yeah, like if you love God, comment amen. They're trying to see who is active on Facebook, like who's actually going to engage in that. The other ones that are like, what year did you graduate high school? Put what was most popular drink back then. All of that, they're trying to get security answers from you. So where did you graduate from? What was your hometown that you grew up in? There's a running joke in the younger community on social media where there's this fake social engineering post that we'll share, and it's like, hey, give me the last 4 of your social along with the 16-digit card number on the back of your card, and hit enter, and it'll change your color to, like, your screen color to green. You'd be surprised how many elderly people will enter their card number and hit enter thinking it's going to change their screen color. Joke's on you, they now have your card information. So anytime you see posts like that, ignore it. They are literally trying to get your information.
Yeah, and they don't care if you love God.
No, they don't. They really don't.
We should know that, but without your posts. But that's
So yeah,
that's
this
another
one,
conversation.
this is the exact one. So list 25 random things about me. I got my first dog 13 years ago, black lab named Dharma. Guess what? Maybe your security question to get into your bank account is, what was my first dog's name?
Dharma.
Guess what? You just said Dharma. Guess what? I just got into your account. I was able to reset your password. You're unable to retrieve that now. Good luck. Same thing at Yale. Boom, I know what university you attended. You took psychiatry and the law or whatever. But yeah, so right there I know what you studied. I know your teacher's name. I mean, all this. I also studied Roman law. So
Got married in 1958.
yeah, in 58 I took the vows. So it's just all that stuff is most likely what you've used for those security questions, and you don't even know that you're giving it out.
A lot of those posts are actually really popular. People will tag you in, like, share to continue, and it'll have that information. You'll list it out, where'd you meet your spouse?
Yes,
Security
that
questions.
is literally a dude in India getting all your information. And I'll say this too. My nephew is 11 years old, and he has discovered doxing, which is where you send, kind of like phishing, it's kind of like that, where you send just a link. It'll say, hey, click this video. I think I may have seen you in it. You click it, and now it has your IP address. And now I can, hack into your computer and stuff like that. And he's doing it. He's only 11. He just does it to say that he was able to get your stuff. But if an 11-year-old can do it, a 45-year-old who's trying to provide for his family in India or in Russia or anywhere can do it as well.
In America.
In America. So it's just one of those things. You really have to be careful.
If it's not pertinent to share, don't share it. There's probably a reason they're asking for that information. All right, here's another one. First 7 jobs. My first 7 jobs, ice cream salesman at the age of 10 at the lake. Again, those are security questions that you're probably using. Next. Okay, has anybody seen these? This is a great one.
Yeah.
On the backs of cars, right? It's a family, if you can't tell. So I know, looking at this isn't necessarily online, but this is a good factor. So I know that you have 3 girls and 3 boys. I know that you have a dog and a cat. That's personal information you're sharing on your vehicle everywhere you're driving around. Another one, the honor roll.
Yeah,
I know where your kid goes to school.
The honor roll. See, some of these will also list the names above each of those little caricatures. And so now you're saying proud parent of honor roll of Plantation Valley Elementary School. So now all I have to do is go to Plantation Elementary School and say, yeah, I'm Todd's brother picking up, Sophie. And sometimes the school is not diligent,
Yes.
and they hand off the child, and now you have an Amber Alert situation.
We actually had an instance of that where we live and where we graduated in Catoosa. Somebody was so shocked at how willingly they were just going to let them have their niece and nephew. Some schools will make you, put like authorized pickup adults down. But even then, who's taking the time to look at that most of the time, especially in a busy office situation?
Humans make mistakes.
Exactly.
So, and then also this, traveling. I know that you're an avid traveler.
Which
I
means
know
you probably
everywhere.
have money.
I know everywhere that you've gone, just stuff like that. It's not important information. You don't need to share it.
Yeah, that's private information you're willingly giving to all these people that are driving around with you. Next. All right.
And then also with that traveling and social media, don't post on social media whenever you're going out of town. Like, wait until you get back from your trip to post your experience. Don't openly broadcast to burglars and stuff that you're going to be leaving your house unattended.
Most Facebook profiles will say lives and the city and state that they live in. It's probably not super hard to really, if you wanted to do it,
Well,
find where somebody lives.
so I'll just tell you how easy it is. Guess what? They send you a message that says, hey, check out this video. I think you're in it. You click it. They get your IP address. Now they can ping your IP address and see the vicinity that you're in. And, from there, based off of maybe social media photos, maybe you've posted photos of yourself mowing the lawn. Guess what? There's identifying information in the background. So all of that stuff, photos are big too. Like at work, whenever we take photos, we hide our badges, because with those photos, they can sit there and they can, literally recreate those badges for, purposes to be able to get in. So.
All right, so to recap, do not for any reason give out personal information online or over the phone or social media or your vehicle or to your brother or your sister, anyone. If you are suspicious of something being a scam, call that person or the company and verify with them whether or not that information is valid. I would also, if your bank for some reason does send emails, you can add them to your contacts, and then you'll know that that's legitimately coming from them. Do not overshare online. Check your privacy settings on your social media accounts. If that's something you need help with, I'd be more than happy to check those for you.
Yeah, so like with those, you can set them as private, so anyone that goes in there and tries to view your profile cannot see it. And if no one has done this yet, most of your posts that you post right now are public. Anyone, like someone could Google what you said in your post, and it's going to pop up on Google for them to click and go to that post. So if you set that your posting privileges to private or to friends only your friends will be able to see that. So, and even your friends, if they tried to share that, their friends cannot see that if they're not friends with you. So
Never click any links, ever, unless you are expecting them and you can verify that they are coming from a reputable source. I would say even then, call before you click anything. I mean, literally it takes that quick for somebody to have your information just by clicking a link. So I would just be cautious, always. I think there's one more. Okay. By following these internet safety tips, we can navigate the online world with confidence and protecting ourselves from potential risks. Remember, knowledge and awareness are our strongest defenses, and technology isn't anything to be afraid of necessarily.
It has a lot of great benefits. Like we were talking a little bit about the chat GPT this morning and how you can use it for like the sermons and stuff, but you can use it for a lot more. For instance, Cierra was sharing something online. You can literally ask it to create a, what do you call that?
Like a Facebook post?
No, the grocery list, like a grocery list.
Yeah, you can ask it to create recipes and then make a grocery list from the recipes it's giving you.
From the recipes. So instead of you having to go through there and say, okay, this calls for a pound of chicken, this one calls for, it does it all for you. It's done. It frees up time, and a lot of people may call that lazy, but it frees up time to be able to do other things. Why waste your time doing these simple, mundane tasks when you can kind of streamline your life and have more time to spend with family, have more time to maybe dive into a new hobby or
read your Bible.
Yes, spend more time with the Lord, stuff like that. This is all, they're tools. They are tools for you to use, and if you use them correctly, they will greatly impact your life in a positive way.
I have a question.
Okay.
So you say not to,
Do you need a mic?
you say not to click on anything? Yes. Okay, well, I dress shop.
Me too.
Okay, so I may not buy anything, but I'm always shopping. Is that okay to click on?
I guess it really depends on the context that you're saying. If you're downloading the app, I know we've talked about Shein. You've used Shein. Download the app. They have an app. There's no
Yes.
need to do that. No, perfect.
Then I'm okay?
I mean, if it's an app, most of the time, yes. Of course, there are going to be those apps that are, but you can always ask me.
But yeah, the websites, so a lot of times the people that own that domain or that website only own a small frame of the window that you're seeing. The rest of that is advertising space. They do not control any of that. That's set by Google. So those are where you get, fraudulent links and stuff like that. So, you want to be careful with that stuff.
I mean, if you're concerned about it, like if something doesn't feel right, or, I mean, if you're just concerned about it, don't do it.
Yeah,
mean,
that's the biggest thing.
Thing is, it makes it very complicated. You get totally locked up in fear, because we
Yes.
talked about the messages to say stop
Yes.
or say yes. Some of those are legit,
Right.
like my pharmacy.
Right.
I'm
Yeah, I get those
signed
too.
up with CVS, and they send me your prescription is ready.
Yeah.
Do you want to refill
Right.
Phase Alaskan?
Yeah.
They would put the message.
Yeah.
You say yes, no, when you'll pick it up.
Yeah.
But they've just started a new thing that I actually took time out of my day, very annoyed, to call their corporate headquarters and provide feedback, because I went to the pharmacy counter and attempted to give them the feedback and ask them to report it up, and they said, call this number. Because now what CVS is doing is sending you, like, soon after you picked up your prescription or whatever, they're routinely doing that. They send you a new lead, and they ask you to update your personal information
Oh,
in
yeah.
your pharmacy account by clicking this thing. And I told him, I said, that's retarded, because we're living in, phishing paranoia world already. And I said, if my elderly mother were to get that, or somebody I'm in charge of, and they are fuzzy and confused because they're older or they're not well, I said, you're lowering their guard to phishing scams by doing it that way at all. Because they're going to think, well, this one was okay, so now I can do this one.
Yeah.
And she goes, I know, right? Which, like, so you just have
Yeah.
to really be, and I've been duped.
Yeah.
Even at Citibank, they constantly trained you, and then they try to trick you, like for a solid year.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
I would say most of the time, I mean, it's a great reminder, right? It's a especially like I work on the phones, so if I'm on a call and I get that text, it's easy to just reply yes, like refill my prescription, I'll pick it up after, whatever. I would just say again, if you're leery, give them a call. You can update your information when you go in, I mean.
One thing that safeguards that is that number that I get an auto response from when I know it's legit. I didn't save it.
Yes.
At CVS on Aspen.
Yes,
Same thing,
exactly.
I did my taxes through Intuit on an app. Then I get an IRS update, because they will send you email and text updates. They're legit.
Yeah.
But save it.
Yes, exactly. Like save it to your contacts.
It's a random.
Yes, yeah. I would also, before you do save something, I mean, obviously but before you do save it as a contact, give them a call. Find
Yeah.
out, make sure. They'll know. And if they don't know, they'll know where to direct you to get that information. Anyone else? Ms. Sharon?
I was wondering about the credit card that you said that even if you're just passing by,
The
it
RFID?
grabs your.
No.
I know years ago that my husband and one of my cousins, to keep their transactions safe, they would wrap it in aluminum foil.
Yes. That's the same premise as these RFID blocking. Aluminum foil blocks the radio waves that go through it. So, fun fact, if you're worried about being like tracked or anything, you can toss your phone in a microwave. Don't turn the microwave on. Just throw it in the microwave, close it, and it actually blocks the radio waves so nothing can be transmitted. So, yeah, same premise there. If you're worried about it, aluminum foil on your credit card, anything, yeah. So. Yeah. No, exactly. Just wrap the whole wallet in it when you're going on vacation, and you don't got to worry about nothing. So, plus, I mean, that may be a deterrent if you drop your wallet. Someone's like, it's just some aluminum foil. It's not actually a wallet.
Tony?
Are online and say that you want, if you're online and say you post something on like Facebook, and you're looking for something or something like that, and they give you all kinds of stuff back at it, that you're searching for this. I want, and if you delete the app, can it still follow you?
So, depending on, so I know Apple recently, whenever you delete apps, it'll let you know it's deleting all of the information, but I really don't know with that, because kind of like we were talking with the digital footprint, it's all there. For instance, we didn't really touch on the cloud. The cloud, people may not understand what it is. We think it's just something up here. The cloud is a remote server. So we, for instance, I could in my basement have a couple server racks, and basically servers are just storage for computers and stuff. So you, by uploading to the cloud, really what you're doing is you're putting it on that device. You're not saving it to your own device. You're saving it to someone else's, essentially. And so if that device gets compromised, that's where your data leaks and stuff come from. That's why, whenever they talk about Target and stuff like that, those data breaches happening, those are because their servers are being, hacked and stuff like that. And that's all the cloud is just a random machine somewhere else. So nothing's really protecting it.
So are you saying to not put something on the cloud then?
Yeah,
Because I never really do.
I recommend not, because you have
Okay.
no control over it. Now, they do have your own device that you can buy, kind of like a Wi-Fi router that you could buy, and that's your own server. That's your own cloud for your own personal use.
Back it up to that instead of to the
Yeah.
actual cloud. I think on the iPhones, if you go into the settings, normally there's a list of like your apps, right? It should be like under permissions or something. You can toggle on or off. It's kind of like with the notifications, you can turn off the notifications. I believe it's the same way with information. It should be, though, once you delete it, you delete it. It doesn't have, it's not following you per se.
It actually didn't let me delete Facebook.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
I took it off my phone, but they said, I can go back in here to the apps, and it says open.
Oh,
Oh, so it's still there. So it's not fully deleted,
No.
essentially. Okay.
Yeah, I found that too, because if I delete something, I can come back and reopen that, and it shows the little cloud. And so how do you delete something from the cloud?
So unfortunately, once it's on the cloud, it's not your property anymore. So that's the big thing about the internet is once it's out there, it's no longer your personal private information. So once you upload it, that's it. There's the digital footprint is there. It is never going away. So that's why it's important to start this at an early age. You have kids, just start, posting stupid things online. Maybe they post some stupid political opinions or something, and they grow up, and that stuff later on affects your life.
Employers look at your
Employers.
social media. They do. I know for a fact where I'm currently at looked at my social media before they hired me. So be careful what you're sharing, not that we're sharing bad things. Yes, exactly. She's coming.
Okay. Somehow, I must have hit it one time. Create a story. And I did not put any of these pictures, our private pictures, in it. How do I, and now every picture I take my phone goes on Create a Story.
Is it on Facebook?
Yes. How do you, but, yeah, but I think I only have my friends that don't go out to everybody.
Right.
But how do I get rid of it to make it stop doing that, taking all my pictures?
It should be just, most of that stuff is just like a simple setting. That's something I'll have to, yes, I will. Yeah, I can do the research on it, and we'll do some research on it and see what we can come up with.
Yeah. A buddy of mine, he's an IT guru. He, a few weeks ago, he said, dude, do you do all this with your phone? I said, yeah, I love it. He said, well, you're being tracked, you're being looked at, And I said, well, what can I do about it? And he simplified my phone, okay? Where it used to say, when I would Google,
Share your location.
yeah, when I would Google bank, Taco Bell, whatever, there is, and it would show a list of everything near me,
Yes.
Walmart, whatever, Home Depot. But now, and it was, for me, it was a little, irritating, but now I have to type what
Which
exactly
one?
I want,
Yeah.
and I don't want them to know where I'm at, so
Right.
there is no, I'm not exactly what he did. I don't know exactly what he did, but there is no anything now near me.
Yeah,
Right.
the location
They can't.
services.
Yeah, he
Simple
he-
setting. If your location services are on, I live on GPS. I use it a lot, especially for the what's near me. If that's something you don't want, absolutely, that's just a little setting you toggle on and off. I don't want you to track my location. Most of those, when you do have them on, it's gonna literally track everywhere you go. So every time I get in my vehicle, depending on the time of day and what day it is, when I got in my vehicle to come to church tonight, my phone said, here's the address for the church, you're 17 minutes away. Because it knows my habits, it knows where I'm going,
Mine today, after church, my wife loves fish daddies. I looked at my phone and it says where to go.
Yep. Yep.
7 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's following your habits. It's following your habits.
And with that is not necessarily like the government or anything it's not the Illuminati. It is literally so these corporations can continue to make money. Google is storing that information. Apple first is storing it. They're selling it, and then so on and so forth. And that way these companies like Amazon and stuff can get more money. They know what you're wanting to buy. Advertising or marketing rather, is very expensive. And so if you can have information like that to basically say, hey, every single day on Sunday, Tony's going to go to Fish Daddy's. So suggest it to him. That way it's on
How
his
many
mind.
people are going to go because that's a suggestion that they made, right? Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to share something that never occurred to me, and now his friend, same friend, enlightened us, and I think he knows what he's talking about the cloud. It used to be like when I first moved into smartphones, the T-Mobile people convinced me, oh, you just need to save all your pictures to the cloud, then it's safe, and blah, 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 blah. So I was letting every picture go to the cloud, not really thinking about the concept of what the cloud is. So everything I've ever done was on the cloud to a certain point, whether it was a screenshot, an accidental snapshot, whether you used my phone, whoever. Even though I'm not on the cloud now, it was.
Yep.
But here's the thing. Young people especially, or maybe when you're a Christian now, maybe you weren't a Christian, if you took an intimate picture of yourself
Yes.
and sent it to your partner, it's on the cloud.
It is.
And it can be subpoenaed
Yes.
by FBI, law enforcement, CIA. I mean, not that I'm trying to evade the law because I'm doing
Right.
anything, but we see how they twist things.
Yes.
It can be subpoenaed at a different ease than if it was in my possession and they had to ask for it. I wouldn't even know it.
Yeah.
And if your kids are doing things like that, not thinking, being silly, swayed by their peers, girls with boys, those are out there for someone to nab.
Furthermore, to add on to that, I don't think it's as much of a thing now, but I know a few years ago there was like websites, it was like, detect a cheater, right? Like find out if you're cheating. And it's, yes, right. And those things have those kinds of photos if you've, shared them. Yeah, super easy to find. A really easy way to deter from that is probably most of our phones automatically back up to whatever the cloud device is, depending on if you're Apple or Android. You can turn automatic backing up off if you want, if that's your thing. And then they're not automatically, every time you connect to Wi-Fi, uploading your information.
I'm a little concerned because my granddaughter and her best friend, they have something that they can track each other, like, well, I'm about 15 minutes away from you, you know, and they can actually see where the other person is.
Yes.
Is that something that they should be concerned about?
So that is most likely Life 360, and that
Or
is
iMessage, you can share me. So I have Bailey's location and she has my location at all times. It can be, right? I don't really think that there's. If you're sharing person to person, it's one thing. It's not like you're broadcasting that location to everybody. Like when Bailey shared her location to me, you have to pick, at least on iPhones, you have to pick, do I want to just share this for an hour, or do I want to share this indefinitely or a certain amount of time?
Do what?
Can it be hacked?
Yeah, I was going to say anything can be hacked if they want it, but Apple is one of the most secure phones. Apple, if you are worried about your information being compromised, like your personal computer, get a MacBook. They are literally known for having the least amount of scams, or not scams, but like malware and stuff like that occurring on them because of the stuff they have on the back end protecting you. So
I guess the real question would be, how are they sharing that location? I know Snapchat also has, they call it Snap Maps. I could literally pull it up, and as long as whoever Bailey is sharing it with me, I could literally click her picture and it'll GPS me to her location. So it kind of just depends. If that's something that anyone you're friends with on Snapchat could see, that would definitely be dangerous. Yeah.
Boy at school that you're sharing that with,
Yeah.
that you don't approve of, and you end up having stalker information.
Yeah, exactly.
yes. But also, like we talked about at the end of this, we talked about this can also be used for good. Let's say your granddaughter runs away from the house. You pull up your phone, you know right where she is, no matter what. And so, unless she like dropped the phone and ditched it. But like, the point of it is, these are tools to be used for good that people are using for malicious intent.
Exactly.
So the sole intent of it, for instance, with Life 360, you can actually track, like if you're in a car, you can track how fast someone is going. I mean, that is major.
It's great if you have kids, right?
Yeah, if you have
Driving
kids
age.
and you're trying to make sure they're not speeding and stuff, but you know, it's to protect them. So
Yeah, again, I have Alex's location and he has mine. I work from home, he works in the office. I have to clock in before he does. So a lot of times he doesn't text me and say, hey, I made it to work safely. You know, we live in a different county. So I can literally just pull it up and, okay, he's there. He's safe. I know he's safe, yeah. Anybody else?
The AI concept, they say it is going to be a $1.3 trillion business.
yeah.
It has benefits and it has unbenefits. Yes, it can go either way for sure. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, this is going back to where Tony
good.
was. That's why I raised my hand. Okay, Tony said that when they go eating,
Yeah.
you know, it tracks them, it puts it on the phone. Well, I didn't ask for that. Mine just all of a sudden came up every place I went that month. But then now, and I have answered some of the questions. They want you to give. They say, you went to this place, like the show,
Yeah.
and then they ask you, how do you like the show? What was it like? Is it clean? Is it this? I mean, they never asked me any personal things.
Right,
So
they
is
just
that
want your
okay?
review.
Well,
I mean,
so-
that's up to you if you don't mind that. But again, if you don't want that, you can just turn off your location services and it's not going to know.
So that is through Google. So that is what you're doing, is you're helping them. So for instance, a lot of you people have probably used CAPTCHAs, which are like, hey, identify the bicycles. You know, the photos where
photos
you
have
have like
bicycles?
9 photos and you have to pick. Those are CAPTCHAs. Those are actually for AI. It is to help them identify things. usually for self-driving vehicles, so that way it can identify, signs and stuff like that. If a human is identifying it, then it knows what is accurate, what is not. So really, AI is nothing without the input from the human. So it's you don't have to worry about AI taking over or anything like that. In the future, it really is going to have some pretty cool things. I mean, they're cool to me because I see the future for what it could be. I mean, it could be something where instead of us going to work every single day, we are now able to have maybe our own AI or robot or something go out and make our living, and we can spend the rest of our time with the Lord, So I just...
With the Lord.
So... Oh, yeah.
This has been a while back. My friend, her friend is smart like you guys, and she sells this stuff and maybe like you guys do, okay? And when Facebook was getting hacked a lot, they went to something else, and they weren't being hacked. I don't know, they can not get in there, or they got in, I don't know. But she tried to put on my phone, and bless her heart, she didn't really know how.
Okay.
Do you know what it is, and you could do it?
Sounds like Parler.
I mean, yeah, it just depends on
Yeah,
what
it
is.
sounds like, so when Trump was in office, it was really big because that's when they started, blocking all the things that you say on social media, and now we have the fact checkers and all of that. Parler was supposed to be like a more conservative social media where you could post whatever you wanted. I mean, it was supposed to be, about freedom. It was more conservative, and I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be more Christian friendly. I don't know if Parler is still around. I think something had happened where they took it off the market, but they, I believe, came out with another app. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Yes, yeah.
And it was free, but also it couldn't share your information.
Yeah, that was probably Parler. That would be my assumption. I can do the research and see what the new one is if that's something you're interested in. But I'm glad that you brought that up. I have seen tons of people on Facebook say, "Oh, I got hacked. I got hacked." You did not. You probably did not get hacked. No one say you did not. You will probably not get hacked. Most of the time, this just goes back to your privacy settings. If your profile isn't, we'll just say secure, I can pull up your picture. I can save your picture to my phone. All I have to do is create a new profile with your name and your profile picture and send that to everybody in your friends list. And a majority of those people are probably going to accept it because they think it's you.
Well, and then going back to the post where you're sharing the 25 things about you or the last jobs that you've had, for the past 25 years, that is all information for them to now build another profile on Facebook. And so you didn't get hacked. You unknowingly gave the information to them. And that is the biggest problem, is people overshare. Listen, people on social media do not care. I'm going to be very blunt. Your friends don't care that you went to the Bahamas. They don't. Most likely, they're kind of jealous of it. They do not care. So you don't need to share it. Delete social media and spend the time doing something different.
I care if you go to the Bahamas or had spaghetti. Wait, we're missing your question.
Hang on one second. Let me.
I just asked them if they knew how to hack a Facebook password.
I mean, as long as you know the email that you signed up with and you can get into that email account. Yeah. Okay. Then no. Yeah, if you don't have access to the account that you set that up with, because when you click forgot password, it's going to say, oh, well, this is the email that we have for you, or put your email in, and it's going to send an email to you, that email with whatever account that's associated with. So you would have to basically pull up the email that they send you, which it's going to be a link go against everything I said, but
But
that's
you
how you
know,
would reset it. Yeah.
But you know that that's coming.
Right, because you did it. Yes,
That's the thing, is if you're just checking your email and it says, hey, click this link to reset your password, ask yourself, have I been trying to get into my online banking? Have I been trying to get into this? If the answer is no, someone is either fishing for the information or they are already in there and you need to take the steps to, prevent them from going any farther.
I would also say if you get friend requests from somebody that you're already friends with and you know them personally, give them a ring, shoot them a text message, ask them, did you make a new Facebook profile before you just accept whoever that is?
That also goes with if your grandchild, child, whatever, is sending you an email or a text or something asking for money, and it's like, click this link or like go on Cash App and send me it, call them and say, hey, I just got a suspicious text or email from you. Do you need money? And they're going to either say, yes, that was me, or they're going to say no, and then that's a fraudulent, attempt.
Once you accept that friend request, if that's not your friend, now they have access to your information, and they can take your information and make a new profile and do the same thing. It's just an endless loop.
I can get into that email if I buy more gigabytes or whatever, more space. But, oh gosh, I had a question. What if you didn't use your email like on that account, like you just used a phone number, an old phone number?
An old phone number?
Then it might go the route of doing a secure access code text. So going back with the multi-factor authentication, if you have that option, always set it up, because in cases like this, anyone can go and hit forgot password to get into your account, but then it's going to send an email to the email or a text or a phone call. And if they don't have access to that email or that text, that phone, they're not getting in. So
There might be a way to change like the phone number, but I would have to do more research because I'm not sure off the top of my head. Anyone else? You're fine.
When I have, let me get the app up. I got Messenger.
Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, and somebody got in and took my password, I guess. And I didn't know what to do, so I called that lady, that Teresa, that knows how, and she said, just change your password. And then, so also I called Verizon to get a second.
Yeah.
And that's what they told me to do. If somebody gets into your thing, just change your password, and then just.
But what the issue with that is sometimes is once they're in, they can now, like we saw in the video, they can change your password. They can change the phone number or the email that you would be receiving that text or that second code from. So once they're in, they can potentially lock you out completely. So what I recommend is if you do get a text, or an email saying, someone was trying to log in, go ahead and take the steps to change the username, because that's the first level. If they don't know the new username, they're not going to be able to send that secure access code. So.
A lot of apps and websites too will have an option when you change your password, or it may just be something you can go into the settings and do. It'll say sign out of all devices, because whoever is logged in, anyone who's logged in is logged in. As long as they stay logged in, then it doesn't matter that you've changed your password. You have to click sign out of all devices. Yeah, that's very common with like Netflix and stuff. I would say on passwords also, I know that a lot of us like to keep the same password for everything. Some people will just change the number that's on the end, make something new every time, because it's not that hard to sit there and say, okay, so their password was walking on water. Let's try walking on water 1, walking on water 2, walking on water 3,
But
1, 2, 3.
That's also what she's saying, the walking on water and stuff like that. That's a phrase versus just like a password. Passwords are more easily, hackable than passphrases. So like I like to use phrases like in the past I have used walking on water, and then you go through and you change the A's to 4s and the I's to 1s and stuff like that. And it's not necessarily unhackable, but it's going to take longer to do it. And most of these people, they're not going to sit there and waste a half a day trying to get into one account. They're trying to get the elderly people who are like, you're some Nigerian prince, I'll give you $1,000. Like, it's one of the biggest scams out there, and it just makes you want to hit your head against the wall. If it's someone asking for money, do not give it to them. I don't care.
That kind of goes back to sharing the information, like I graduated in this year and my first car was this. Those are probably going to be your password most of the time. It's going to be something that you're familiar with. I'm trying to think of, I went to Catoosa, so the mascot's Indians, and I graduated in 15. So Indians 15 or 2015 might be something that someone tries to get in. If that's my password and I'm posting that online, sharing that information willy-nilly, boom,
yes.
They're in.
So I work at Walgreens, and we do the Western Union.
Yeah.
And yesterday I had a guy come in and say, I need to send $900 to somebody in Jamaica because I think he said they called him, they got his phone number, and they were like, hey, I need this, and I'll send you this amount in return.
Mm-hmm.
And I could advise him against it, but he still wanted to go ahead and send $900 on Western Union to someone in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially for the elderly that are not seniors, so of course you're seniors. If you're elderly and you're single, I see a lot of people that are contacted online by somebody in Jamaica, and they sweet talk you up and say, oh, I love you, I want to marry you, I need you to send me the money so I can come to America, and I need to do this, that, the other. Unfortunately, a lot of people fall for that.
Right.
It's fake. They're not going to come. They just want your money. They don't love you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how they make their money. That's how they make a living. So,
Yes.
They're going to, they're going to ask for that information.
I was just going to share something I do that makes it a tiny bit safer, but you have to have good memory to do this. On those security questions, like what's the name of your first dog?
Right.
What was your first car? Because we share that stuff in social media, people who know you and are building a profile. Like if it says, what is your first car? I say tacos.
Mm-hmm.
Right, something that you're going to remember.
What was the name of your first dog? Enchiladas, like something that
Random.
or that's not the real answer. My real answer is something else.
Right.
But
They're
I
probably
know
not gonna
what
guess
those
that.
are, and you wouldn't be able to guess that.
Right, yes.
Because I wouldn't be sharing about that on social media. You
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to study me.
Yeah.
But if you have a poor memory, don't do that because you will be locked out. Most of the time, you'll call customer service to reset it, and they're going to ask you those questions. So, yes.
Yes. Multi-factor and authentication is great. Definitely, if that's an option for you to enroll. Most of the time, it'll ask for your phone number, and they'll want to send you a text message.
Also, don't write anything down. Don't write your security questions down. Don't write your passwords down. Because if someone breaks into your house and you have a laptop right there and your notebook that says big bold letters on the front, passwords, I'm grabbing your laptop and passwords. And, unfortunately, a lot of people put a lot of information in there. Like
Grandkids.
your account information. A lot of times they'll put everything down to the T, and right there you've now given anyone everything they need.
I know Alex has seen a lot of this at TTCU, like basically children or grandchildren getting a hold of their, mom or grandparents' banking information. And I think a lot of them use things like Cash App, and they're just sending money to themselves on the constant. And then all of a sudden they're like, where did all my money go? Oh, well, you have all these Cash App transactions. And they're like, what do you mean?
Yes.
I don't use Cash App.
Yes, and like the whole Apple Wallet and stuff, some banks do not require, with TTCU, you actually, when you add a card, you actually have to call us and we do something on the back end to add it. Some banks don't do that. And
Most
so
do not.
let's say you drop your card on the ground, someone adds it to their Apple Wallet, and then they do the nice thing and turn your card into the front. And they, you finally go up to the cashier, hey, I lost my card earlier. Oh yeah, someone turned it in. You think all's fine and well because someone did the nice thing and turned your card in. Really, they want you to leave it open so now that person can just go through and make transactions with your card. So, and that's sadly what happens to a lot of grandparents is they say, yeah, you can use my card to go to the movies for the night. And the grandson or grandchild writes down the card number, puts it in their phone or something, and then they just go to town with it. So I hate to be this way, but don't trust anyone. It is your card.
Personal information for a reason, personal to you.
Yes, at TTCU, actually, like if you have a joint account, like if I'm on an account and my wife's on it with me, I couldn't just give her my debit card to go use it. No, that is my personal debit card. So, she would have to get her own, and that's for protection. So,
So basically, again, just don't share personal information ever for any reason. If it's important, they'll call you. Even then, use your discernment.
yes, if someone needs money, the best thing you can do, if you're going to fall for a scam, the best thing you can do is cash. I had a lady that I talked to several weeks ago at work. She unfortunately fell to a Rogers County sheriff scam that was going around. Said you have to, send us an iTunes gift card to get this paid. And she was just in such a panic because that's what they do. They play to your emotions. That she went and instead of sending them the iTunes gift card or something, or giving them her card number, she went ahead and just took some cash off and sent that. So guess what? You're out the cash, but you're not out your personal information.
Right.
You're not out your bank account. Now you've got to, change that. And sure, you've got to change it just right here, but a lot of people don't realize now that bank account is linked with, your auto payments and stuff. So you've got to spend the day fixing all that. So, yeah.
That's another thing I would say, gift cards. If anybody says anything about I need money and you have to send me it on gift cards and send me the code, it's not real. It's a scam.
Also, for online shopping, you can go to Walmart, buy a little prepaid gift card.
Yes.
Load the money on there and use that prepaid gift card to go
Instead
shop.
of your actual account.
Because then if someone hacks that or you entered it into a fraudulent website, the only thing they're stealing is the amount or the value of that card. So if you're going shopping for $50 and they take $50, that's it. That card, you can just toss it and you don't have to worry about it versus your own personal debit or credit card. So, yeah, I think we're done.
Thank you so much. I hate to cut this off because we could go on here for a long time. I agree with you, Lark. Encore. I think we need to have you back. Would you guys be okay to come back and do it again? Because I know there's a lot that probably we haven't even got to. John, did we get to any of your questions tonight at all?
No, that was fine.
Okay.
I actually did have one, but I was going to ask, but now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Are we still recording on? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and sign off to those of you that are watching. We really appreciate you watching. I know you enjoyed this tonight, and so kudos to Alex and Cierra. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right.